This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay. Ah!
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganath Harros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary, remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Renan, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Renwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Xion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgrath. the former Lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Han-freaked whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegus?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegus from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renan by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait, don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
This is great. The taste and aroma will blow everyone away. Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight. Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menancia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
You're mine!
Hear my call! Shooting star! Here's another!
Damn it!
The enemy wields arts too.
You'll soon see about that!
On guard! Tiger Blade!
Piercing
Split it open!
Be my guest!
Armor won't save you!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclo! This one's mine! Lightning Strike! Ringwell!
Frozen!
Hammer!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Seriously? Is this a joke? On guard!
Illuminate the dark! These ones can run rings around us!
On guard! Glacial Spear! Here's Evil!
Take this!
Demon Fang!
Freeze laser!
On guard! Here, this one's mine.
Leaves me smelling to me. Yeah! And in a bind?
Incineration wave!
On guard! Piercing roar! Time to shine! Tiger blade! Beast assault!
I'm all set up.
This one! On guard! Plenty left!
Violet starting wave.
Beast assault!
Here. I'll be saving this one.
Prepare to be seared!
Here's my call.
This one's mine!
Laser spear.
Round and round! Flaming meteor! Piercing roar!
Here's
Time
a
to
healing
shine!
arm. Arrow squall.
Water! On
Here's
guard!
my call.
Demon Fang!
Get
Double
ready.
Demon Fang!
Laser spear.
Piercing roar!
Swallowing trouble.
Lightning strike!
Now.
This one's mine!
Demon Fang!
Going in.
Finish
In
it!
here.
Steel!
Go for it.
Prepare to crumble!
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Double Demon Fang!
Far beyond.
Double Demon Fang!
Here's a healing arc. I
This one's mine.
Double Demon Fang!
Going in.
One
One confiscated. Reload.
Double Demon Fang! Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Far
Demon
beyond
Fang!
the darkest
Double
sky.
Demon Fang!
I call upon thee. I'm all
Demon
set up.
Fang!
Annihilation. Shoot it.
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara.
On guard! On guard!
Go get him. Far beyond the darkest sky. I call upon thee.
Demon Fang! Double Demon
Shoot it.
Fang!
Stop. Too much to handle.
Wave!
Bullseye. Here, let me help. Here goes.
Fang!
Far beyond the
Demon
darkest
Fang!
sky.
Double
I
Demon
call
Fang!
upon thee.
Incineration wave!
Lightning. Downfall.
By the
In here. More
Double
attack
Demon
from.
Fang! Incineration
Let me
wave!
help. Here's a healing arc.
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
glacial spear!
Here's evil. Tempest whirl. Freeze lancer. Ice
Double
prison.
Demon Fang!
Here's a healing arc. First aid. Go get him.
Double Demon
One
Fang!
last hit.
This one's mine!
Far beyond the darkest sky. I call upon
Sonic
thee.
Thrust!
Here's a healing arc. In here.
Incineration wave!
Denied!
Here goes. Far beyond the darkest sky.
Double Demon
I
Fang!
call upon
Piercing
thee.
roar!
I owe you one! Double Demon
Shooting
Fang!
star. Too much to handle.
Double Demon Fang!
One more. Reload. Here
Demon
goes.
Fang!
Go to the
Flame inside me, yours to be let free! Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno! Double Demon Fang!
Far beyond the darkest sky. I call upon thee. Freezing storm.
Double Demon Fang!
Ice tornado. Sleep now. Here, let me help. More
Demon
remaining
Fang!
from
Double Demon Fang!
annihilation.
Demon Fang!
It's too much.
Their arcs were interrupted!
Hold nothing back! Swallow Blade!
Far beyond the
Double
darkest
Demon
sky.
Fang!
I call upon thee.
Demon Fang! Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Here,
Make it rain!
Fang!
Kisara, frozen.
Hammer!
Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect you'll be in high demand if that's the case.
Gotta break through!
Engaging!
Demon! Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Save you!
My shield!
Far beyond the darkest
Snake Eyes! I
Demon
call
Fang!
upon
Take
thee!
down their defenses! I see one,
Sealed!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! Demon Fang!
A freezing storm!
Burn! Release!
I tornado!
Go time!
Go healing art!
Take this!
Fire support!
You get the gist. Sealed!
Finish it! Double Demon Fang!
Fire! Blah blah blah! Burning
Demon
strike!
Fang!
Water!
Demon Force!
Here's the blood! Here's evil!
Double
I'm
Demon Fang!
freaking Blazer!
An astral art?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Hit! Here's another!
Double Demon
More where
Fang!
that came from! Reload! Flawless flight! Lightning! Puddle! Flame of doom!
Double Demon Fang!
One more! Here's the evil! Take the flip! Magic is there! Burning strike!
Onward and upward.
Right! Here goes! Now you'll learn!
Shall escape
Double
my
Demon Fang!
judgment!
Burn! The savage I won't show you any mercy! You got spirit! Demon Fang!
Field.
Double Demon Fang!
I'll be saving this one! My prison! Here goes!
Damn it,
Flawless flight!
Double Demon Fang!
Here's
Generation Wave!
Here's another!
I owe you one! Double
Now we're
Demon
not-
Fang!
Reload!
Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Do it!
Now you've gone and ticked me off!
I'm on a roll! Here! Go get him! Gemini Aqua!
Finish it!
Annihilation!
Demon Fang!
Lightning! Hear me! Flame! Lightning!
Generation Wave!
Thunderblade! Here, let me help. First
Double
aid!
Demon Fang!
There! Ice it!
I feel sprightlier than before.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone...
Go no further!
Demon Fang!
Freezing
Double
storm! Far beyond the darkest
Demon Fang!
sky! I call upon thee!
Double
As if
Demon
the
Fang!
normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
Demon Fang!
Sealed!
Demon Fang!
There! More with that!
Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Far beyond the darkest sky!
Double Demon
I
Fang!
call upon thee! Gravitas field! Mega ray! In here!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon thee!
Double
Here's a
Demon
healing
Fang!
art! First aid!
Ignite!
Shooting star! Go get him!
Here!
More with that hero! Ice prison!
Wolverine Alpha!
Downfall!
Armor won't save you!
Searing flame! Reload!
Double Demon Fang!
I'm all stopped up! Here's another! Bullseye! The magic is there! Burning strike! You get the gist! Burning strike!
Charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me!
Done! I'll leave it to you!
Burning strike!
Double Demon Fang! The
You get the gist! In here! Here, let me help!
Double Demon Fang!
First aid!
Down! You're already
Not today!
Ready and raring!
Go to the flame magic is there! In here! Fire! You get the gist!
I may have bit off more than I could chew.
You get the gist! Into the sleep now!
You'll pay for that! Double
In here!
Demon Fang! Incineration Wave!
Leave the
Blah
charges
blah
to me!
blah! Fire!
Double Demon Fang!
Go get in my way! There!
Demon Fang! This one's all mine!
I'm all puddle! I hear the
Double
healing!
Demon Fang!
Thanks so much! in the sky, it's mine!
Demon Fang!
Water,
Double
hear my
Demon
call!
Fang!
I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! Here, let me help. First aid!
Double demon fang!
Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike!
Not today!
Here goes! Here, let me help. First aid! Beyond the darkest skies! I call upon thee! Mega Ray! Shooting star!
Demon fang!
Go get him! Do it! One last one! Lost! Demon's descent!
Flashing fang!
That was a little close for comfort.
Hi, Hoodle! Where are you going? Far beyond the darkest skies! I call upon thee!
Take this!
Annihilation! Hear me! Flame of fury! Sleep now! Here I go! Where would that come from? Radiant here! Shooting star!
Not today!
Far beyond the darkest skies! I call upon thee!
Here I come!
Shooting
Demon
star!
fang! Double demon fang!
I'm
Take this!
Flame of fury! Here's another! Hey, go get him! I'm all knocked
No further!
Go get him! Raging storm! Annihilation! I'm prisoned!
Locked and loaded!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Here's a healing arm!
This one's all mine! Release! Double demon fang!
Marksman here!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! This is the power of the blazing sword!
That's for...
Here's a healing
This
arm!
one's mine!
First aid! Not in your dreams! The magic is there! I can read your moves like a book! Here's a healing arm! Far beyond your skies! I call upon thee! Escape my judgment!
Demon fang!
Can't get out of this!
Ray! Shooting star! Here, let me help!
I'll smash you!
Here you go!
Double demon fang! Release!
I'm prison! Here! Here, let me help! Here goes! Bullseye! Searing flame! Reload! Not on my watch! Damn it! Loud out loud! First
Take this!
First aid! More where that came from! Here goes! The flames will roar! Burning strike! The flame magic is ready!
Ignite!
Burning strike! Glacial spear! Here's evil! I'm Freeze laser!
Double demon fang!
Freezing storm! The flames will roar! Burning strike! Gotcha! Freezing storm!
Ah! Double demon fang!
Go get him! Here, let me help! First aid! Tunnel! Here's a drop down!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Demon fang!
Burning
Die! Double demon fang! Incinerating wave!
Here's evil! Freeze laser!
Double demon fang! Burn in hell!
Shooting star!
I owe you one! Sword
I
Ring Alpha!
Water!
Make it
Hear
rain!
my call!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
With this, I can become even stronger!
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegus. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah, it was all just a little sudden, that's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too, if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never— known Faria to control symbols like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handled the Subo, then we get some answers. Double demon fang! Aim for their weak spot!
Going in! Now chance! Got you! I'll fix you up!
Hit dog!
Going in!
Illuminate the sun!
Here, let me
Demon
help!
fang!
The power
Demon
of
fang!
All right, let me out!
Recover! me help!
Demon Fang!
First aid!
Look sharp!
Demon
Guardian
Fang!
Field!
Double Demon
All
Fang!
right, let
Demon
me hear
Fang!
it! I'm all set
Double
up!
Demon Fang! Stay away from my friend!
Purity!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Take this!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Here's a healing art! First aid! Illuminate the sun!
Double Demon Fang!
Escape light power only land!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Elusive deity!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Graviton field! Divine streak! Mega ray! I'm all stuffed up!
Demon Fang!
Light
Double Demon Fang! Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! Demon Fang!
Holy land!
Rob and take.
Here, let me help! First aid!
Double Demon Fang!
Arrow wall!
Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
None shall escape my judgment! All disasters made right! Come forth and
Demon Fang!
Maelstrom!
Double Demon Fang!
Far beyond the darkest sky! I call upon
Can you take it?
my
Take
judgment!
this!
Double Demon Fang! Demon Fang!
It's in your hands now.
Here's a
You
healing
pay
art!
for that!
First
Demon
aid!
Fang! You
Bring
picked the
you
wrong
back from
fight!
death's abyss!
My pride was my downfall.
Cyclone!
On your
And again!
Demon Fang!
Cyclone! A whirling circle! First aid!
Double Demon Fang!
soaring blast!
Arrow squall!
Double This is looking good! My turn! Take it! No escape! Double Demon Fang!
No! A whirling circle!
Here!
Knuckle! Flame knife! Here, let me help! Now!
Demon Fang!
Jolene! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
Mega
Double
Ray!
Demon!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! Ha! Photon! Back into the wind! Air ready to go!
It's in your hands now.
Winds of heaven! I burst
Double
out!
Demon Fang!
Searing tempest! Sky will! I'll bring you back from death's
Double
abyss!
Demon Fang!
Force of
Double
regeneration!
Demon Fang! Eat this!
Rob and pain.
No escape!
Reload!
Searing Gale!
What? Illuminate the sun!
Double Demon!
Don't leave me!
Not done yet! Double Demon Fang!
No!
Can't end here! Not done yet! Double Demon!
No!
Can't end here!
Bloody
Here I come! Double Demon Fang!
Freezing storm! Afterlife purge malevolence! Magic
Double Demon Fang!
Freeze lancer! Dance in the wind! In here!
Double Demon Fang!
I'll be saving this one! None shall escape my judgment!
On
Where was that came from?
Double Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang!
Down on the ground!
Try harder! Not a chance! Not a chance!
Wonderful purge malevolence!
Double Demon Fang!
I'm almost impressed!
My brain's coming from you.
I said almost. Don't get carried away.
I'm not done!
Winds of heaven!
Double Demon Fang!
I won't give up!
you! Stay away from my friends!
Far beyond the darkest skies!
Double demon fang!
Resuscitation! Here, let me help!
What caused my downfall?
This should do it!
Freezing
Double demon fang! Win! Rising! Take this!
that move!
Here comes a big one! Try harder! My turn!
Burning strike! Water!
Take
Here's
this!
my call!
Down on the
Red! Divine strength!
Try harder! Now!
The regeneration!
Radiant spear! Here's the lightning condensed! Thunder blade! Illuminate the dark! Transform! Holy red! Far beyond the darkest
demon
skies!
fang!
Here's my call! Red! Healing! Flame of fury! Burning strike!
Double
Water!
demon fang!
Dance in the wind!
Shine! Radiant light!
Ignite!
Regeneration! Regenerate!
Do it!
Double me! In an instant! Impact clock!
Now it's just her! Varia! Can you hear me? Varia!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion,
Huh?
thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.